Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Boozer here. Welcome to the channel. Today's video we're going to talk about some brand new teams that I put together from the most recent fusion nut. We're going to be tackling the Shogun's Grove as well as the Sand Devil Necropolis. But it's not just with one nut, it's with two nuts. So we got two nuts. We were very fortunate and we pulled a extra nut from the 1+1 shard event last week, and we will be putting both nuts to good use in this video. So this is going to be a good one. Stick around. All right, so this is my nut, my first nut. I got him with Phantom Touch. It's actually helpful for Fire Knight. So that's the blessing that I chose for him. But this is my first nut. This is the gear I got on him. Broken sets just to want to hit stats, make them fast, make them high accuracy, high crit damage. So here are the total stats on him. 267 speed, 331 accuracy, able to handle basically any content currently. 283 crit damage and about 4,000 defense. He's fully booked. The counterattack accessories is not necessary. It's actually better for him to have refresh accessories, but I do have the refresh accessories on the other nut. Of course, fully booked. Here are the masteries on him. Down to Giant Slayer, I got Life Drinker for some extra healing. Psycho Magic for extra A3 slams, and Lore of Steel for extra stats and extra duration with Master Hexer. So if you guys don't know his skill kit, he got triple turn meter or triple freeze on his A1. He's got an AoE weaken, AoE decreased defense, decreased attack, very strong utility. And then his triple hit, 4-turn cooldown, max HP hits. So 30% of the enemy boss HP is reduced with this. Also reduces defense and heals this champion. Massive skill. Makes him one of the greatest fusions ever. So I got these two. I got the two nuts here. I'll show you guys. So nut 1 and nut 2. My second nut, I got him in Relentless gear. This is not really necessary. Reflex is actually the best set on nut. However, I don't have super great reflex gear, so for now I have him in Relentless gear. For the builds against Shogun and the builds against Sand Devil, you do not care if he gets the Relentless turns. They slow the run down maybe 1 or 2 turns. Maybe 1 or 2 turns, but it does not impact the failure rate. So my stats on my Relentless nut: slightly slower, slightly less crit damage, same amount of accuracy, and a bit more defense. Masteries, basically the same thing. Yep, that's about it. So the two nuts, how will I use them against the Sand Devil and the Shogun? I will show you guys. Be warned, I am a free-to-play player, but this is not a free-to-play team, and this is not a free-to-play strategy. So just be warned here. We'll be right back with the Sand Devil showcase. Alright guys, so this is the Sand Devil team that I have on my account. I'm using both nuts. I got Sifi the Lost Bride, Riho Bone Spear, and Kymar. So Riho Bone Spear was a guaranteed, one of the first guaranteed Void Legendary back in the day. Sifi obviously incredible pull, same with Kymar, and then the two nuts. So I'm going to show you guys the presets. There's not really too much going on with the presets here. You just basically want them to do their moves. I think they can go with default, but just want to make sure. So you want the A3, and then Sifi opens with the A1. Actually, that's the default. That's the skill you want for sure. Sifi open with A1, Riho open and continue with the pressure points, and then Kymar open with the Seal of Magic. So if your Kymar is super fast, your Kymar is going to open with the A1 and then Seal of Magic after both nuts go. But basically, you want both nuts to go and then Kymar to go. But you also want the nuts to go after the Sand Devil wakes up. So you want the nuts to be slower than 270. Slower than 270. I don't know if 270 works because that's the speed of the boss. But 269, the nuts will go after the boss wakes up. So you open with the sleep and then you go with the debuff. The speeds are not super relevant as long as they're over 270. So they go before the Sand Devil takes a turn. Sleep him, debuff him. He wakes up with the debuffs on. You nut, reset. And then Sifi will boost. And then Riho will apply the pressure points again in the event that you get resisted on decreased defense or weaken. You have a second chance at applying it. And then hopefully the nuts will be able to finish. I have been able to kill the boss with the weaken missed both times, but I don't know if it can kill him with the decreased defense missed both times. So we'll have to see, but so far I think I've done about 60 runs, and so far I have not missed a single one. So that's some good news, but that's the run. Those are the little details about it. So let's jump right into it. Show you guys what it can do. Full auto, of course. Put him to sleep. Debuffs. Everything landed. So this is a perfect run here. The big smacks. Big smacks again. You see the 490. That's the cap. Okay, relentless proc, but doesn't matter. Relentless will not mess up this run. Riho applies the debuffs again in case you get resisted. And that's the end of the Sand Devil. 20 seconds, full auto, level 25. 19 to 20 seconds unless you get some extra Relentless procs. Of course, you don't want the Relentless if you can help it. Relentless is just really good for like Hydra. So these are builds that basically I won't change for any content. And they apply for every single build, everything that I used them for in this game. So this is the run. We can do it again. See if we can get some extra RNG or some interesting RNG that we can talk about here. So bash, bash, bash. There you go. It's capped now. 490, 490, 490. Reset. Boost. Apply debuffs again. And bash, bash, bash. Less than 10% left and bash. So you see basically both nuts hitting allows 120% of the boss's health to be removed. So it does allow some leeway on having the weaken or the decreased defense removed or resisted. So there is some leeway. I don't know the exact point at which this fails. Like I said, most likely both decreased defense and weaken being removed many times. Then this will probably fail because it does rely on the decreased defense or the weaken or one or both of them to actually be able to kill the boss. Okay? So far, like I said, super consistent, incredible team. I believe Acrizia can do this. Obviously, Acrizia can do this, but she only double hits as opposed to triple hits. But it can be done with Acrizia. Sifi, I mean, Sifi's auto sleep. I don't know if there's another champion that could put them to sleep right away. Riho has the decreased defense and weaken, so that gets applied. You could try something else. Kymar for the reset. Ideally, it has to be Kymar because they're 4-turn cooldowns on the big smacks. So, yeah, like I said, not quite free to play, but I mean, it's on my account, free to play account, and I got the gear to make it work. So, I guess it's free to play. No, not really, but yeah, we're doing the hardest dungeons, top level in incredible time. So, yeah. Anyways, we'll hop over to the Shogun and I'll show you guys the team that I'm using there. So be right back. All right, folks. So this is my team that I'm using against the Shogun. Level 24. It cannot do 25 consistently, so level 24 is the number that we're going for. There is some little details about some parts of this team that need to be spoken about. So let's go over the presets real quick. So presets, you got the Nut doing the A3 priority, and then you have Riho, similar pressure points, and then priority open. Kymar opening with the reset. This is going to differ depending on where your Kymar is. You'll notice that my Kymar is slower than both my Nuts, so he will reset after Nuts attack. And then you have Ruark. Ruark's here to basically taunt. He takes some pressure off Riho, who's set up to be the highest crit damage in the team. So she takes the first hit from the Shogun, and then the second hit will go to Ruark. You don't necessarily need Riho to have this crit damage to take the hit. If your Ruark is faster than the Shogun and places the taunt first. If your Ruark or taunt champion, so the other one is Crudan can place the taunt first, and then the Shogun will attack the taunt minion first. But I don't have the gear to give my minion 335 speed or 340 speed or whatever the speed of the boss is in this level. So I just said, okay, I'm gonna break it up into two parts, basically two different champions. So it was easier for me to gear Riho with insane crit damage and to have my Ruark here as well instead of having it all on one champion. So either a super fast taunt champion, or you could actually, you could have a Ruark with really high crit damage. That might work too. My Ruark is currently in shield set. The shield set helps Riho absorb some of the damage from the Shogun, Shogun's first hit. As you can see, my Riho does not have great overall stats. She's purely here to debuff and soak up the first hit. So yeah. Also, a quick note here about masteries. Basically, you don't want any masteries that can increase turn meter, basically pushing them ahead of other champions in your turn order. That will mess things up big time. You definitely don't want Cycle of Revenge where... you don't want Retribution where there's a chance to counterattack. Because against the Shogun, if you counterattack, you're going to add stacks to whatever stacks that the Shogun has, and then I believe at 30 the Shogun becomes extremely impossible to kill, so you definitely want to limit the stacks you put on them. The other thing is this comp doesn't run any blessings. As you can see, it's not based around blessings. It's actually based around taunt. So anyways, I'll show you guys how to run and I'll go over what's going on. So like I said, it's not a free-to-play comp. Very endgame. Got some endgame champions here. You don't need Ruark. You can use Dual Dan because the reset will allow the reset of the taunt ability. And it doesn't really matter if Riho dies. So he taunts. He takes the hit. Riho debuffs again in case she gets resisted. There's the bashes. The stacks are at 15. So you're perfectly safe. That's the run. 16 seconds is the best. I don't know how I got 16 seconds. 20 seconds is pretty average. So we can do this again. Theoretically, this run could really mess up if your Relentless procs maybe multiple times. I'm not sure. Maybe. So as you can see, the taunt absorbs the hit. Riho attacks. At this point, it's less than 10% left and gets finished off. So this comp can't do 25 because of affinity issues, but you can substitute champions like Cohart or Ninja to be able to do the different difficulties. It will take a bit longer, most likely, but definitely you can do it. But Nut will not work on 25. So yeah, let me see. I think I handled all the nuances of the build. So we'll go over the champions again real quick here. And yeah, so let's go over the champions real quick that I just used. So Kaimar's an arena build. So I don't like changing my builds for various areas of the game. So I just leave them in builds or find ways to make their builds work. So this is my arena Kaimar. He's in resistance and he has some accuracy, not so much. He's speed tuned to work in a bunch of different dungeons, so that's why his speed is like this. You don't necessarily need to make him this speed, but the idea is he either needs to be first so that he can reset everybody afterwards, or he needs to be last so he can reset people afterwards. So yeah, Nut 1. I just have them at these speeds, like I said, under 270, so that it works with Sand Devils. Yeah, so both of them have to go after Sand Devil wakes up. So Nut, same thing, 2 Nuts here. Riho has to be second for Sand Devil, and she has to be the fastest for Shogun to apply the debuffs. She's at 280, just a bit faster than the fastest, the other fastest champions, which would be the pair of Nuts. My Sifi is 354. Doesn't need to be that fast. Just have to be faster than Riho to sleep first, and faster than the Sand Devil, of course, at 270. Ruark, what I found is that 250 is probably the right speed you want him at. So I would say 250. That's probably the right speed. I have him in a shield set so he can help absorb some damage, help Riho absorb, because when Shogun actually crits, he can go through Riho pretty good. So when he crits, Riho's probably down to like 20%, and that's with the shield. So I would imagine you probably need some protection or a beefier Riho. But yeah, so that's going to be why he's in a shield set. There is some weird interaction with Stone Skin. So I believe Shogun does avoid Stone Skin. So you could theoretically protect your whole team if everyone is in stone skin, I guess, and then leave one champion behind so the Shogun attacks that one. But that's a lot of stone skin and a lot of damage to commit, so it might not be realistic. I don't have this guy booked. He's not booked, and he has no masteries. So it's actually a very good use case for him, because he's just there merely to take one hit. And yeah. And here's my second nut. So far, these are the two very impressive areas that I found to use both of my nuts. The third place where I've been kind of optimizing the two nuts for is for Fire Knight Hard 10. So I will be releasing a video on Fire Knight Hard 10. I'm working out some details on the build and the run, just to make sure that I got everything down before I actually release the video. So obviously I don't want to release something that I'm not confident in. But for now, these two builds for these two dungeons, and I'm basically like, that's it. I'm super happy with them. The speeds are excellent. I don't have to change any of these builds. These builds work in other areas. Like these two nut builds, they're very good for like Hydra. They work for my Spider. They work for they work for my Fire Knight team. So they're very good. Same thing with Kaimar. Kaimar works for all my dungeons. He also works for some arena. And my Riho I don't really use, but she works for all the dungeons that I use her in. And my Sifi is still usable in arena, of course, and she works perfectly fine in the Sand Devil. So I'm super happy with these builds. Nut has definitely enhanced like these teams like to another level. Previously I was doing like Ninja and Neri 24s, you know, 2.5 minutes, perfectly fine, but you know, to increase that tenfold in terms of speed, incredible. So super happy with these champions so far. Spent a lot of time building them during CVC. Happy to let you guys know of my progress and how I'm utilizing them right now. I know not everyone's going to have two nuts. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, excellent champion. Incredible champion. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys can take something from it. Best of luck on your week, and best of luck on your dungeon crawling. There's a lot of events going on with these time attacks and things like that. So we'll see each other soon. Take care, and let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Appreciate you all. See you guys next time.